Afternoon, everybody. We got another scorcher today. That's I think it's in the low 90s today, and it's supposed to get hotter. So I'm gonna try to get some work done, but I don't know how much I'm actually gonna get done. I guess we'll see. What's the matter, Frank? What you doing? Yes. Okay. One of the things I'm going to do is test out my new bike rack here. Basically, the way this works is it's made to strap to the back of an SUV. It's got like these adjustable straps that hook on, and then that kind of thing. And my thought was, well, if it can work on the back of an SUV, why can't it work on the front of a van? So I'm thinking I might try strapping this to the front and seeing how it works. Because I've also bought a spare tire carrier to strap onto the back bumper. And they make bike racks that strap onto spare tires. But I don't know. I don't want all that weight hanging off the back already. I've already got this huge hangout over the rear tires, and then I'm going to have the tire itself, a full-size spare with a steel rim, and then you got the bike, and that gets real heavy, and that's just a lot to hang off the back. So I'm going to try this one on front, see if it works. If it doesn't work, then I'll just have to go with the one on the back and hope it works. So that's the first thing today. Well, this is what you end up with. And I think it works quite nicely. I need to move it over to the left a little bit apparently, but even if I don't, it still works. This back tire isn't sticking out past the center of the side of the vehicle. I have to secure this somehow with bungee cords or something to keep it from flopping. And you can see it rocks a little bit, so I have to secure it like that somehow. Again, probably with bungee cords. Overall, I'm satisfied with it, I think. Not quite as adjustable as I thought. These come up from this main assembly here, and they only come up to here and then they stop, and you can't adjust them any further. I thought it was much more adjustable than that. So this side's, hanging down a bit. I gotta tighten it up, see if I can make it work a little better. I'd give it maybe a 9 out of 10. Yeah, maybe an 8. I gotta do a little more tinkering, get a little more comfortable with it. I'm not 100% confident to go on a real long trip with this yet. I'll have to see if I can make a little adjustments to it, secure it a little better. But overall, I think it's pretty good. I think it works pretty well. So, next thing is going to be putting on the spare tire dealie. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, it's a bit of a pain, but I got it on. As you can see, it just simply bolts right on. It's got a removable pin so it can flop down so I can access this door, and then the tire will go here with this plate holding it on. Very satisfied with that. It wasn't expensive, and it's on. And I'm getting the new tire, I think, tomorrow or the next day. With that, I am done. Man, I've only been out here maybe an hour, and I'm already just sweating like crazy. It is so humid out. So I'm calling it a day. I'm gonna go hide in the air conditioning. See you next time. Well, afternoon, everybody. It's been a while since I've made a video, so I figured I'd get out here, do some work, and show you what I'm doing. First thing I want to show you is what I did with the spare tire mount that I just showed you. Hey, not too shabby, huh? It's got the nice spare mounted on it that I got for 10 bucks. And then my friend made this aluminum plate with the LED license plate light. And you got the little stem extender here. I got to get one more bolt to tighten it up, but it looks pretty nice on there. I like it. I got to eventually sand and paint this bumper. It's already getting some surface grime on it, but it'll last for a while, so there's no big rush on that. Also, I want to show you I took this thing all the way to Pontiac yesterday to pick up that tire, and I had the bike strapped on there the whole time, and it worked just fine. I used these bungee cords to keep it nice and secure, and it hasn't budged. So I'm pretty confident that that's going to work for the trip. So next thing I'm going to do is address the problem with the 12-volt outlet that's in the upper compartment. If you recall, I pointed out those switches above the driver that weren't working. Well, I've decided, what do I need switches for? Screw them. So I'm just going to cut the wires that are leading to it, and I'm going to run new wires across the ceiling into the cabinet above the sink, wire it into that light right there, so that it'll be just enough, it'll be plenty to power the TV, because that's all I'll need it for. So I'll show you how I'm going to do that. Okay, here's the plan. This is the cabinet above the sink. Here's the wiring going to the light. You got black for power, white for ground. I'm simply going to tap into these two, run the wire along here, drill a hole through this cabinet, bring it out here, run it along here, and boom, into this cabinet. And in here, this will be powered. I'm going to disconnect all these wires and just start over, because all these wires, God knows where they go. I'm going to pull this out, I'm going to rewire this, and here's the supplies I have. This is to cover up the wire that'll be running up here so it's not too unsightly. I mean, you're still going to see it, but hopefully it won't be too horrible. They're going to be adhesive holders. I'm going to stick those up there and use these twist ties to secure the cable. White and black wire, 14 gauge, ought to be plenty for the TV. And then I'm also going to put a 110 outlet in there. I've got this little box that'll screw to the inside of the cabinet, and I'm going to run this 14 gauge, or what is it? Yeah, 14-2 110 wire through the same conduit, assuming I can fit it in here. I'm going to run them both through that same one, back through here, and wire it into that outlet right there. So that should be fairly straightforward as well. Now, to make the connections for the 110, or excuse me, for the 12 volt, I've got these guys here. These are very cool. You can see, I don't know if you can, but there's one side that goes all the way through and one side that doesn't. The wire that you're tapping into just gets clamped over on this outer side. And then you put the other wire into the other side, and then you push down on this little deal, and it strips the insulation and taps into the wire itself to power both wires. These are great for indoor connections. You don't want to use these outside because they corrode too easily, but I've got a whole bunch of them here, so I'm going to make the job quick and simple. That's what I'm going to do now. Okay, here's what I got so far. I went ahead and pulled out this thing right here. That was right in there. Or, yeah, it's like that. I have no idea what this thing is. Whatever it is, I'm guessing I'm never going to use it. So I pulled that out. I'm going to mount the TV right here. I've got like a swivel mount thing. It's going to mount right here. The TV's probably a little too big for right there, but it's going to fit in this general area. Anyway, I pulled the thingy out. It's sitting right here. And 2 wires. White will be ground. Orange, I guess, will be power. As you can see, I don't know why they did that, but whatever. I'm gonna be able to reuse this. This thing is just fine. I just got to wire it up properly. So I've gone ahead and drilled the holes. I drilled a hole right here to run the wires through, and I drilled a hole over here. The damn veneer came off a little bit, which kind of sucks, but oh well. So now I'm going to run the wires. It's alive! We have power! I fed the wires in. Everything's going through the box. I got to just screw this back in place and secure these. But they're coming up through here. I'm going to secure them. And they just connect right there. Quick and simple. I was a little concerned about these wires not being thick enough. But then I looked at the wires on the stock thing. This is stock. I didn't do this part. These are the same. Same gauge, 14 gauge wire. And it's only going to be running a little LCD TV, this guy right here, so those don't use much power. Oh, and by the way, frustrating by the way, this TV is a AC DC. You got 2 different plugs. You know, you can plug in the DC plug right there and just plug it directly into the outlet. It's also got a DVD player built in. I bought that thing 2 years ago when I was cross-country driving a semi. And I have since misplaced the remote. which is annoying because this stupid thing doesn't work without the remote. It doesn't have any buttons. It's got volume and channel and power, and that's all. You can't really control the DVD part of it at all. And it's such an obscure brand, something called Access, that nobody sells a universal remote that works. So I'm probably just gonna have to use my little regular LCD TV with an inverter until I decide what else to do with this thing. You can get a replacement factory remote off of a website I found, but it's $35 for a remote, which is insane. However, another AC/DC TV with a DVD built in, that's hard to say. A new one, for a good one, is like $150, which is a hell of a lot more than $35. So I might go that route. It just seems like a lot to pay for a remote. Anyway, so the TV is going to be mounted here. Let's see if I can get this out. Ultimately going to be right there. Once I get the mount set up, that's how it's going to look. So that should be cool. Put that back in there. Now I gotta run the 110 and wire up that outlet so that I can plug it into AC when I am plugged in at a campground. All right, here we go. Okay, so this is the old outlet that was in there. As you can see, it's kind of it's pretty cheap. It doesn't even have the terminals on the side. It only goes in from there, and I may be wrong, but I don't think you're supposed to put any wires in there. I think you're supposed to stick it in there to release it, but I could be wrong. But either way, I didn't see this thing as being able to handle more wires, because there's already 2 sets of wires going into this thing. So I got this other one that I had lying around. I can put 2 on each side of this, and then I can put 4 more in the back. So this will work better. And I got a new cover right here that matches, so it'll look nice. So that's the next job. Okay, I got the new outlet in. It's pretty, and as you can see, it just wire goes in. These are the 2 stock wires. This is the new one. It's going to run along here. It goes out the same hole, and it's going to go in as well. And this is going to be the box that's going to be mounted, you know, something like that. And there's going to be, so I'm going to have an outlet in there. Right now I got to take a break, get cooled off, and then I got to go meet a guy about a hiking GPS. I'll show you that when I get it. Okay, here's the finished product. Got the outlet there. Comes up, 2 wires, and here's the main one. This one's already come detached. That's nice. And the wires come over here. The old DC wires run together. They come out here. You got this connection right here, and they go in. As you can see, I also got the TV mounted, and I decided to use this TV, the AC/DC with the DVD built in. Why? I found the remote. Ha! I put it up on a shelf upstairs because I obviously found it sitting around somewhere and wasn't sure what it was to, so I put it on a shelf and said, someday I'll figure out what it's for, and sure as shit, I figured out what it's for. Anyway, this TV mount is actually pretty sweet because it swivels out all kinds of different directions, and you can fold it back. This is kind of the way it's going to sit most of the time. Whoops. It's hard to do with one hand. Just kind of tucked back in like this. This is how it'll be when I'm watching TV. But the nice thing about it is that I can swing it out, fold it this way, and then back like this, and still get this door all the way open. So anyway, the wire comes down through here, and already into this DC one, as I told you, and the light's pretty bad, but hopefully you can see the 110 outlet back here. So that's going to allow me to have both AC and DC right here. So whether I'm plugged in or not, I'll be able to do whatever is most optimal. So that's all for now, and I'm going to do some more work tomorrow, record some more. I've got a very interesting lighting idea that I'm going to do. I'm waiting on the materials to come. I ordered them online and they're still on their way. So I'm going to leave that as it is. I'm not going to tell you much more until I'm ready to show it to you, because I want it to be a little bit of a surprise, because I think it's really cool. Anyway, yeah, I like this setup. This new setup is much better than the old one. Oh, also I wanted to show you this. This TV, this little table right here, this guy here. This was the original table that went down into that slot right there. And it was way too big. You could sit on the couch and have the table down in there, but then you couldn't move around the van. It was so big and so in the way that it made it inconvenient to use. You couldn't even get the refrigerator open when you had the table in. So I had my friend cut it down. As you can see, he did a really good job. He curved the edges, he sanded, he used a file and everything, got it real nice. And it's about a third the size it used to be. And it just sits right in there, and that's all the space it takes up. Which is perfect for one person to sit and have a meal or whatever. And it tucks up right in that compartment now. It used to have to go back in that closet back there, which is also inconvenient. So it's much better now. Anyway, so now that I got the TV back, I can put it. There we go. There we go. Yeah, all right, cool. I'm happy with that. Anyway, that's all for today, and I will see you next time.